It's every Friday we blow off a little steam thanks to our friends at Local Environmental Services. We call it Trash Talk! All right, Walks, over to you.
Well, I mean, Louis C.K. has a great stand-up bit on people are, I hate Verizon. It's like, you go make your own network then.
It's Rogers.
Yeah, get a ladder and go throw some hubcaps in the trees. See how close your network is to perfect. But yeah, Rogers' cell and internet services down throughout the country, and it's a big inconvenience.
Do you have a Rogers phone? Is that why you keep looking at your phone?
Yes, and it's just dead. This isn't a phone. It's just it's a brick right now. It's a paperweight. You'd think with the money they saved firing me, they could afford some decent cell towers.
Yes!
But we'll see.
You were one of those high earners.
Yeah, the other one that I'd like to complain about. So, a lot of trades in the NHL draft, like the Oilers traded Zach Kassian. I don't know if you saw
Arizona,
that.
yeah.
A salary cap dump because they need some money. Now, the Maple Leafs did the same. They traded their disastrous contract of a goalie, Peter Mrazek, along with the first-round pick to get him off the books and give them more money. And all the Leaf fans and Leaf media are saying, well, it doesn't matter because they think they're gonna draft the player in the next round that they thought they were gonna get in the first round anyway, and like it's this whole apology, basically apologizing for Kyle Dubas, the GM. And I was thinking about this. There's 150 draft picks every year, and even more. And has any team ever drafted a player that they didn't have ranked higher on their list? Ever? Have they ever been like, well, we had this guy ranked 50th, but we're going to get him at 35th. No, it doesn't work that way. So every draft pick ever, with the exception of maybe number one overall, every team in the history of sports will say, yes, we had him ranked higher on our list, because that's what you do. So it's not a thing. This is not the flex that you think it is.
I thought you were going to be way angrier than that. Did you think
it's more annoyance?
When we release the pod, can we throw some anger into Walker's voice there?
When he gets angry at me on the pod, I hardly even know.
All right, how about this one?
I just give you the side eye.
The side eye. That is the Walker's side eye. How about this one from Rob M? I love this one. This week, I talked about the provincial Conservatives' budget surplus, and we were talking about tax policy. It was kind of
I hate surpluses.
I hate surpluses. But do you hate taxes? Taxes. And so we had some interesting conversation about de-indexing taxes, and we got into the weeds on it, which is good because people want to know how to save money. But I did let out of my mouth, I uttered considering Alberta's budget surplus, and as soon as I said I'm going to get some emails, and Rob M, we're reading yours today. He says regarding this so-called budget surplus, Jesperson, it's not a budget surplus, it's a societal deficit. He says here are a few of the reasons why Alberta has a budget surplus. All right, wage rollbacks to nurses and lab techs. AISH remains frozen. $700 million cut from post-secondary institutions. The Kananaskis Country Park Pass revenues were not reinvested back into the land. 40,000 senior citizens lost their drug plans. Teachers' wages are not keeping up with inflation. Doctors' compensation is so low that GPs are inaccessible for much of the province. Arts industry grants underfunded because their purpose, supporting the pandemic's hardest hit industry. Come on, the silver lining? Maybe the failure to launch the unnecessary provincial police force prior to the premier being forced to announce his resignation. Here's my healthy speculation, says Rob M. Provincial ministries are not cooperating with the Auditor General's request for specifics on how this $4 billion was or was not spent on pandemic relief. We should be wondering more about that, and thank you for reading. And yes, says Rob, I'm hoping to win one of your delightful studio mugs so that I can sip coffee out of it while watching your show in the mornings. Rob, we will put your email into the hopper for consideration as our Real Talk email of the month. I suppose by throwing it up into the air and seeing it flutter to the ground, he's not sure if it's going to land there or not, but Rob, take my word for it, I will. Trash Talk is real email sent to talk@ryanjesperson.com when you need to get something off your chest. You know where to send it. Coming up on Monday, I'm looking forward to this conversation. A journalist, Connie Walker, who's released this podcast series, Stolen, Surviving St. Michael's. It's the story of her dad surviving residential schools. Plus, on Thursday of next week, spread the word. We'll be talking to UCP leadership candidate Danielle Smith. I'm already getting a whole lot of questions from you. Keep them coming. Have an amazing weekend, Real Talkers. Check out thehedgepod.com. That's Walk's show. You can subscribe to it anywhere you get your podcast, and we will see you on Monday morning.